From Pendleton Heights High School in Pendleton, Indiana, welcome to high school boys basketball coverage here on 9-Star TV, where tonight it's a HHC battle. The Greenfield Central Cougars come into town to take on the Pendleton Heights Arabians. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us here on 9-Star TV, along with Jim Leisure. I'm Rob Connett. And Jim, we get ready for a matchup that features two teams that, easy to say, are kind of struggling as we get to the second half of the boys basketball season.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the records, and probably Pendleton a little bit more than Greenfield. Greenfield has lost two really close games. Won the New Palestine by 4 points, but that actually was they had an opportunity to tie the ball game on the last possession of the game, and then they lost an overtime game to Mount Vernon. Those two games go your way. You're now 8-4. Things are a little different. Pendleton's still kind of struggling. Coach Adam Ballard's trying to get things turned around. He is a good basketball coach. Won 5 consecutive sectionals as the head coach at Covington. That's not easy to do. I mean, even if you have a great player like a Damon Bailey or a Larry Bird, he can only play 4 years.
Right.
When you win 5 in a row, that means you've done it with 2 or 3 different sets of kids. Coach Ballard's trying to reestablish that tradition here at Pendleton. 3
seniors, the rest of the roster, sophomores for this Pendleton Heights team. And one of those seniors, the leading scorer, Jamison Dunham, averaging just under 19 points per game. He truly is the leader of this team. Recently became the newest member of the 1,000-point club here at Pendleton Heights.
Yeah, really nice article in Friday's Indianapolis Star by Kyle Nedenrip, and kind of talked about that 1,000-point course. You can't really talk about Jamison without talking about his older brother Kellen, who started Butler and then played in the G League. The article was about the differences in the two kids, just physically. Kellen's 6'4", Jamison's maybe 6 foot,
right,
but the differences in their game as well, and it was a really neat article, well written by Kyle.
On the flip side, for Greenfield Central, 6-6 on the year, and they have been looking at a few guys. Joey Rowland, Dylan Moles, Braylon Mullins are the 3 guys that we'll be saying a lot. Dylan Moles averaging just under 19 points per game as well for GC.
Well, you see his stats there, Rob. They were there quickly. Dylan is a slasher. He likes to go to the rim. He likes to get fouled. He hits his free throws pretty well, but he can also hit the three. So an all-around player, and he can get other people involved. And there's his stats, as you see. Good on the boards, 4.5 a game. So he's their star guy. It all goes through him. But like you said, Mullins and Rowland are also pretty strong.
Mullins, 11 points per game. Rowland at just about 9 points and 5 rebounds per game for Greenfield Central, 6-6, 2-2 in the Hoosier Heritage Conference. Like we said, Pendleton Heights still trying to figure out stuff as they go along the season. 3-11 on the year, 1-3 in the HHC. And you look at the Hoosier Heritage Conference, Jim, Mount Vernon, a team we just saw last week here on 9-Star TV, 4-0, 12-2 overall. Newcastle and New Pal both 3-1. And then you got Greenfield tied with Yorktown with that 2-2 conference record. Still a lot to be decided in the next month and a half.
Yeah, there's a little bit of basketball left to be played, and there's all kinds of scenarios where one team can win it outright. There you see the standings. Other teams can tie. You can have co-champs and those kinds of things. So, there's 8 teams in the conference, so you're going to play 7 conference games, and you see there most of them have played 4. Only Shelbyville's played 5, so a lot of basketball to be played.
Again, it's Greenfield Central 6-6, Pendleton Heights at 3-11. So let's dive into more of these teams and what they need to do to pull out a victory here tonight. If you are Greenfield Central, Coach Luke Meredith, what do you got to do to improve to 3-2 in the conference?
Well, the first thing you're going to have to do is obviously you're going to have to defend Dunham on the 3-point line. You cannot let him go crazy. If he gets hot, and again, if your kids for some reason decide not to guard him, or if Pendleton does a good job of setting screens and double screens and getting him open, it's going to be a long night defensively for Greenfield Central. If you're Pendleton, you just got to play team basketball. Again, Dunham's the guy, and we all get that. But there's other guys on the team. Josiah Gustin, who's really good. Luke Candiano, who's the quarterback of the football team. And he's a kid that can score and also deliver the basketball to people. So Pendleton played a really good ball game against Guerin Catholic. Guerin Catholic's a 9-4 basketball team, and Pendleton and we called that game for 9-Star. They played really well. It was just really good team basketball. Did a good job on the defensive end. Did a good job on the offensive end of just spacing the floor, getting the ball to the open man. Basically hung around long enough to run it into overtime. And then literally they had more gas than Guerin did in the OT, and they ended up winning by 5.
You get a good look at head coach Luke Meredith in his 3rd year here with the Greenfield Central Cougars. You mentioned the the win that Pendleton Heights had over Guerin Catholic last month. So the Arabians, again, they only have 3 wins, but one of them, a good one in overtime against that Guerin Catholic team. So they have showed potential. And again, Jamison Dunham leading the way, but we've seen this Pendleton Heights team, if you get Candiano involved, and we haven't even mentioned the 6'7" sophomore Josiah Gustin can be a real difference maker as well for the Arabians.
Yeah, he's a young man who's gotten better. Every time I've seen him, I saw him last year as a freshman. Honestly, he was a little tentative, a little unsure of himself. Didn't really feel like it. You could tell he didn't feel like he fit into the offense. Kind of hung out around the three-point line. This year, though, every game that I've seen him, he's getting a little closer to the rim. He's a great rim protector defensively, leads the team in blocks, but he's also really good about just getting the ball in the post and turning it around and basically turning him to easy layups and basically free points.
10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks per game for Josiah Gustin. He has scored in double figures 6 times this year for the Pendleton Heights Arabians. We'll take this time for tonight's national anthem here at Pendleton Heights High School.
Arabians! At this time, would you please rise and face the flag as we honor this great country with the playing of our national anthem.
There we have tonight's national anthem performed by the Pendleton Heights Pep Band. And it's time for the starting lineups. We'll start with the Greenfield Central Cougars. Again, they are 6-6 coming into tonight, 2-2 in the conference with head coach Luke Meredith in his 3rd year. Overall, he is 32-28 in his time at GC. Dylan Moles, a 6'3" junior, shooting 56% from the floor, averaging just under 19 points per contest. At another guard, Joey Rowland, the 6'1" senior, averaging 9 points, 5 rebounds per game. Tyler Kirchhoff will also get the start. He's averaging about 3 points and 2 rebounds per game. Braylon Mullins, the 6'4" freshman, averaging 11 points per contest. And Rune Carpenter-Jones, a 6' senior, gets the final 5 start for Greenfield Central. For Pendleton Heights, the 6' senior Jamison Dunham. Again, he is the true leader for this team, averaging 19 points per game. He has scored as much as 34 in a game this year. Also starting for the Arabians, Luke Candiano, the 6'1" senior, averaging 9 points, 3 rebounds per game. Braden Knitz, 7 points, 3 rebounds per contest. Ethan Ross, another senior for Pendleton Heights, averaging about 5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists per contest. And the 6'7" sophomore Josiah Gustin, averaging 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks per game. There's your starting 5 for head coach Adam Ballard in his 2nd year here at Pendleton Heights. The Arabians in their home whites, Greenfield Central in the dark gray uniforms, and we're underway here at Pendleton Heights. As Moles will set it up for Greenfield Central. Again, the Cougars averaging about 56.5 points per game. Pendleton Heights just under that at 52 points per game.
Pendleton open up in a man defense. Good spacing on the floor right now. Well, 4 of the 5 are outside the arc. They did have a double low post where they were setting double screens trying to get the ball to Mullins.
Into the corner. Carpenter-Jones stopped. Now Kirchhoff.
Coach Meredith out just shouting some instructions.
Taking their time on this possession. And it will go out of bounds. A turnover to start the game.
Well, good defense there, just patient and just kept working the ball and forcing Greenfield. Not giving them any real openings or good open looks, and was able to create the turnover.
Pendleton Heights started out with Ethan Ross. Knitz tied up. We'll have a jump ball, and it will stay with the Arabians.
Greenfield controlled the tip, obviously, so alternating possession. That time Greenfield looked like they were in a 1-2-2, kind of a matchup zone.
Jamison Dunham, the 6-foot senior, averaging 19 points per game. Again, just recently became the newest member of the 1,000-point club. They get it inside. Tough shot, tough angle for Knitz. And the Cougars will take it the other way.
Yeah, just found himself just under the rim there. You know, there is such a thing of getting the ball in the low post in a bad spot, but that was a bad spot.
We've played a minute and a half, no score. Kirchhoff trying to change that. He'll pass it inside, and it's Roland getting the foul. He'll go to the line.
Still very early, Rob, but, you know, you don't want to see Josiah Gustin get in foul trouble if you're a Pendleton Heights fan. Picks up his first.
First free throw, no good for Joey Roland. Shoots 72% from the free throw line.
As a team, they shoot 74, which is pretty good.
Second one good, and our first point of the game.
You hear me say it every week. You got to shoot, I think, 70 or better from the free throw line to have a chance to be good late in the season. Otherwise, if you're a team that does not shoot free throws, the other team will find that.
Dunham kick out. Ross for three, off the mark. And the rebound into the hands of Moles.
Gustin had really good position there. Just couldn't come up with it.
Travel. Going to be called against Mullins. So a couple of turnovers for Greenfield Central. Caden Sims will check in. Again, this Pendleton Heights roster, 3 seniors, 8 sophomores.
Yeah,
and that's it. No juniors, no freshmen.
Yeah, you wonder, you know, honestly, 3 years ago when that junior class were 8th graders, they probably had enough for an A and a B team. Probably 20 kids in the program, and obviously now down to 0.
Sims going baseline. Gets it to Ross. Trying to get it out of the corner. And he threw it away. Kirchhoff. Over to Moles for 3. Yes, sir. Dylan Moles, that's his 28th triple of the season, and it's a 4-0 lead for the Cougars.
Shoots about 47% from behind the arc, which is impressive. Another turnover.
Another steal, Moles. He'll pull up again. Rims in and out. Dunham splits defenders. Floater, good.
Well, we went from a very patient game up to this point to kind of a breakneck speed.
And it only lasted 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And a foul going to be called against Pendleton Heights. Goes against Dunham.
Dunham was actually extending the defense, really pressing the ball all the way up beyond the arc there, and I guess just got a little too much of the body.
4-2 with 4:48 to play here in the opening quarter.
And it's well documented in basketball, you know, lore down through the years. Some officiating crews are going to call it very tight, and they'll let you know early and set the tone, and then others are going to let things go, and they'll let you know early. This crew right now seems to be a little bit of, hey, guys, you know, hands off, you know.
And that's blocked out of bounds. There's Josiah Gustin. He averages 2 of them per game. There's 1.
Yeah. You know, I think Carpenter Jones there drove the lane and just didn't really have an idea of what he's going to do when he got there. And unfortunately, when he got there, Gustin was there.
Into the corner. Carpenter Jones drives high off the glass. No good.
Same deal. I mean, he just drove to the basket and then really didn't have a plan.
That floater left short, and a foul. on the rebound.
Foul call on number 14, Tyler Kirkhoff, his first. Team foul number 1 for Greenfield Central.
We'll get a look there.
Yeah, see if we can pick up the foul here.
Right in the paint. It was called against Kirkhoff. Putting a hand into the back of Ethan Ross. Corner three, in and out. Offensive rebound by Gustin. Dunham goes to the hoop. No.
Not sure what the call was. The whistle was blown. I thought it was a foul, but
They didn't signal one.
nope.
Yeah, I was waiting for one as well.
I didn't see anything on the floor. Sometimes, official will see, perspiration or something and, call timeout to get it wiped up or picked up, whatever it was. I didn't see that either.
We'll play on. 4-2. GC in front. Into the corner. Kirkhoff drives. Wicked shot. Won't go. Clean up there, though, for Rune Carpenter-Jones.
Well, he knew what he wanted to do with it that time.
It's a 6-2 start for the Cougars.
You can't fault his hustle. I mean, he's definitely out there hustling around. He's playing good defense. Sometimes offensively, though, he gets a little bit out of control.
Good pass. Tough shot. Ross can't get it to go. Fight for the loose ball, and the Cougars get it once more. Carpenter-Jones.
Gustin with another offensive rebound. Almost
Dunham.
a steal.
Got a hand in there. Into the corner, wide open three. Off the back of the iron, and a foul going to be called on the rebound on Dylan Moles.
Foul call number 3, Dylan Moles, his first.
And calling for a little bit of a push-off there. You're going to see it hopefully off the rebound. Right? Well, wasn't much of a foul, but a foul nonetheless.
And now a technical foul has been called on Dylan Moles.
Of course, that also goes as a personal. Didn't used to, but it
Wow.
does now. That's 2 on him. Don't know what he said. I will tell you this.
Yeah, he said something. The referee didn't appreciate it, and he was quick to tee him up.
Well, I tell you, it was not much of a foul. We of course, have the luxury of the replay, and our crew did a fine job of showing there was very little, if any, contact. They called him on a shove on the rebound, but I didn't see a lot of it.
Technical free throws for Jamison Dunham. He hits the first one. Well, Jim, you made a good point about officiating, and usually in the first quarter, the referees will let the players know how this game's going to go.
Yep.
Again, they've been keeping it close.
Yeah.
And, hey, if you say something,
Yeah. No,
if you don't agree,
yeah,
boom.
they want basically what, I guess referred to as a clean game. Very little contact, no hand checks, no pushing under the bucket. Sometimes, basketball games, is a contact sport. There's contact. Football's a collision sport. Basketball's a contact sport.
Floater goes through for Ethan Ross. First player not named Dunham with a bucket. And we are tied at 6 with 2:25 to play here in the first. And Gustin with his second block of the quarter. Arabians in transition. Dunham for 3. Pendleton Heights leads it.
That's an example of Jamison Dunham just getting lost. Had the ball in the front of the fast break, but was able to pull it back out behind the arc and fire it up. See, again, very little contact there, but called. Consistent, be consistent. If that's what you're going to call it that way.
Number 24, Ethan Ross, his first. Team foul number 3 for the Arabians.
You're going to see it on the replay here. Got a lot of basketball, maybe a little bit of body.
First foul on Ethan Ross. 3 fouls for each team. Under 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter. 9-6. Arabians in front. Trying to change that. Rollins 3 is short. Dunham, foot on the gas pedal, slipped. Taken away. Kirkhoff up ahead for Joey Rowland with the flood.
And the most impressive thing is how he gave the ball up. I mean, he had it. He could have went in for a layup, but there was a guy in front of him, and he gave it up, and nice dunk.
Another takeaway. Up in front, Street Kirchhoff layup good, and GC leads it 10-9. Entertaining first quarter for
Absolutely.
sure.
Couple blocks, couple offensive rebounds, and a bomb.
Dunham's three off the mark. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter.
Good block out by Joey Rowland there. Ball goes up. You got to find the guy you're guarding and get your rear end on him. No offensive rebounds.
Kirchhoff slows it down. One-on-one with Candiano. 35 seconds to play. Here's a three, Mullins off the back of the iron. Pendleton Heights.
Good job by Street of reversing the basketball quickly, catching it, getting rid of it immediately.
Dunham with 12. Now Ross, they feed it into the corner. Candiano. Gustin jumper rattles in at the buzzer, and Pendleton Heights will take an 11-10 lead at the end of the first quarter. An entertaining 8 minutes. Quarter number 2 coming up here on 9-Star TV.
At 9-Star Connect, our history spans back to the late 1800s, where family time, building livelihoods and neighborhoods, sharing stories of the day, and looking forward to chasing new dreams were important to all of us. Today, 9-Star still values these things. That's why we have a local 24/7, 365 support center. We are still here for you, as it's been for the past 125 years. At 9-Star Connect, we're a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Welcome back to Pendleton Heights High School. Rob Connett, Jim Leisure, and the rest of the 9-Star crew with you here. Wow, entertaining first quarter. Multiple lead changes, dunks, threes, technical fouls. We had everything on the bingo card.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, and again, Gustin's got 2 offensive rebounds, 2 block shots, just got the shot at the buzzer to end the first quarter. So, yeah, I mean, just getting everybody involved. The one thing I will say, a little bit of a low-scoring game. Both these teams average in the 50s, 56, 52, somewhere in there. So, right now on a pace to get in the low 40s, but credit some of the defense for that.
11-10 as we start the second quarter. Had 4 lead changes in the opening 8 minutes. Moles gives it over to Lester, who has checked in.
Coach Merrill's advising his troops to take it out a little bit. They were getting a little sloppy. Almost turned it over 2 or 3 times in that last sequence. Pendleton bringing the defense out.
Yeah, Cougars taking their time as well. We saw that in the first couple of minutes of the first quarter. Both teams took their time on their first couple of possessions, and then everything went crazy back and forth as we have a foul away from the ball. It's going to go against Aaron Cookston, who has checked in to start this second quarter.
Well, like I said, I was away from the ball, so I didn't really see it.
4 fouls for Pendleton Heights, 3 for Greenfield Central. As Moles tried to go off the board, can't connect.
Greenfield now 1-2-2. This time with Rashawn Street at the point.
Dunham over to Cookston. Candiano, baseline. Finds the open man inside the paint, rattles out, no good for Candiano. Mullins pushes it up across the timeline. Again, both teams averaging right in between 52 and 56 points per game this year. Greenfield Central gives up about 50. Pendleton Heights gives up 61. Offensive foul going to be called.
And I think that is going to be the third.
Yeah, wow.
Because, again, the technical counts as a personal, so they got to bring him out of the ballgame. 6 minutes and 11 seconds. You're going to see it right into your living room here. I don't know.
One of those 50-50 could go either way.
Yep. I mean, it was one of those deals where didn't see the shoulder dip. A lot of times offensively, if
the official has brought it across the timeline. Still 11-10.
That's a pretty good basketball player sitting on the bench right now.
And he stepped out of bounds. Caden Sims' heel was on the line when he tried to do a catch-and-shoot three. Both teams with a handful of turnovers.
Yeah, but I have Pendleton Heights with 6.
I guess that would be 2 handfuls there.
Yeah,
right?
exactly, yeah. That reminds me of an old story. Billy Keller years ago for the old ABA Pacers.
That three is off the mark for Mullins. Sims had it taken away. Another turnover. Street up ahead. Had it stripped out of bounds. And he last touched it. Pendleton Heights ball.
Nice defense there by the senior Dunham. But Billy Keller would have set the ABA Pacer record for most threes in a game, but he had like 9 or something. But he stepped on the line on one time and stepped out of bounds on another one that he hit. But it didn't count because he stepped out.
Neither team has scored here in the second quarter. And a near turnover. Coach Adam Ballard is going to take a timeout. Both teams kind of need to reset. Been a sloppy second quarter. Still 11-10.
Yeah, that's when I like to see the timeouts taken, is when you just feel the wheels coming off of it a little bit. You want to save the possession. You know, that pass there almost got over the 10-second line. And Coach Ballard decided, you know what, we're going to stop and talk about this. Like you said, slow it down. Remind the kids, hey, we've been working all week on different things. You know, these teams, they trade film. They know what Greenfield does defensively. They know what they do offensively and vice versa. So, you know, sometimes you got to stop the kids and remind them, hey, we talked about this, guys. What are we doing?
Can we mention at the top of the broadcast how this Hoosier Heritage Conference matchup, Greenfield Central right in the middle of things at 2-2. Pendleton Heights near the bottom at 1-3, but we still got a lot of conference games to decide. But most teams in the HHC still with 3 conference games to go.
Yeah. And we just saw a really good shot there, Coach Meredith and his assistants there, you know, coaching them up. It takes, you know, it's not just the head coach. Every assistant has a responsibility. You know, some of them, I mean, it's your job when the head coach turns around and says, how many fouls do you have? You need to know. I mean, the head coach can't keep track of stuff. How many timeouts do we got? He'll look at you, and you need to tell him. And if you can't tell him, you know, I don't know. He's going to find somebody else. I mean, if that means finding not, you know, right there in the middle of the game, but the following year you may not be on the staff. It takes everybody on a staff.
So we'll see what both teams can do coming out of the timeout. Wow, long three. No good for Gustin. It hit the tape up top, so that'll be out of bounds, and the ball belongs to GC.
Well, I got to believe that is not the shot that Coach Ballard wants out of Josiah. I mean, I don't think he minds if he takes a 3 every now and then, but that was 4 or 5 feet behind the arc. That's just not in his arsenal.
We've played 3 minutes here in the second quarter, and neither team has scored in this quarter. Still an 11-10 ball game. Kirchhoff will reset the offense for the Cougars. Owen Anderson, who has checked in for GC. Dangerous pass out to Lester. Kirchhoff drives, double teamed, throws it out, and taken by Dunham the other way. Foot on the gas pedal, slows it up. Great hustle there by Greenfield Central.
Very wisely pulls it out too.
Gustin, in the middle of his pass, almost traveled, threw it up, and rebounded by the Cougars.
I love his court awareness because, I mean, he knew that if that foot hits the ground before I let go of it, it's a travel, so you want to toss it toward the rim and hope you get that hometown roll.
Lester kicks it into the corner. Kirchhoff lets it fly and connects for the 3.
Doesn't hit a lot of them. That's his 10th of the season, but that one there looked awfully good. Of course, he was wide open too. You know, I mean, again, you gotta defend. You gotta get out there.
Our first points of the second quarter And Greenfield Central back in front at 13-11. Gusted. And the Cougars go the other way. Anderson. Kirchhoff. Into the corner. Roland will try a three. Short, but he's fouled.
Good call. Gustin got over there and just as he landed, just made contact.
Joey Roland will go to the free throw line
and
shoot three.
Yeah.
1 for 2 in that first quarter.
Shoots 72% from the line, drills that one. So you're going to see the other, or you saw it there, just contact after the shot.
Second one rattles in. A couple of substitutions for the Arabians. Luke Candiano and Ethan Ross back in for Pendleton Heights.
You know, and again, so Gustin comes off. And the first thing that Coach Ballard does is coaching. I mean, he sits right next to the coach, and they're coaching the kid. That's what I like to see. Sometimes you'll see a kid kind of sulk and go down the end of the bench. No, come here, sit next to me, and I'm going to explain why you're sitting next to me. Not mad at you. I'm just coaching.
Yep. Jumper rattles out, no good for Candiano. 2:45 to go here in the first half. Greenfield Central outscoring Pendleton Heights 6-0 here in this quarter. As a near steal there by Nolan Souders. Three the other way, Kirchhoff, no. Offensive rebound for Carpenter Jones. That was deflected out of bounds.
Again, just another hustle play by Carpenter Jones. Does a nice job that time. Had an idea of what he wanted to do with the basketball and just got deflected.
.225 to go. Kirchhoff to Roland. Carpenter Jones drives. Offensive rebound, Roland. Three off the mark, no good. What a rebound, though, by Carpenter Jones.
Failure to block out. You got to get your body on him.
Under 2 to play here in the first half. 16-11, Pendleton Heights has scored all the points here in the second quarter.
Greenfield employing a little bit of a weave here, a la the, not quite Harlem Globetrotters, but similar.
Anderson floats it into Roland, double teamed, finds a teammate, Lester, and he gets fouled. Ethan Ross picks up a foul. Adam Lester to the free throw line. As you look at the foul there.
Lester hits the first where he shoots 77%.
Aaron Cookston back in for PH. And Braylon Mullins back out onto the floor for GC.
Yeah, with a minute 25, Coach Bauer does not want Ross to get his third either.
Lester knocks down both of them. 8-0 here in the second quarter. Greenfield Central in front by 7. And a steal by Kirchhoff. A minute 10 to go. And again, Coach Meredith barking out the offensive signals for GC.
1 minute.
Kirchhoff thought about it.
That's a good choice. I mean, if you don't feel it, it's not there, back it out.
Lester dribbled it off of his foot. Pendleton Heights forces the turnover.
Good pressure trapping defense there, creates the turnover. That's something that, again, if you're Coach Ballard and his staff, make a middle note of that. You know what? They don't seem to handle that trapping press very well, whether it be in the half court or the full court. And you can create turnovers and get back in this ball game. You're down 7 points.
A near steal. Candiano keeps it. Dunham, 3. Yes! Breaks the scoring drought for Pendleton Heights here in the second quarter. 18-14, 20 seconds to go. And the Cougars will set up shop for the last shot. Rowland with 5. Rowland got it. And that will end the first half. Greenfield Central heads into the locker room, leading it 20-14. They outscore the Arabians 10-3 in that second quarter. We'll be back here on 9 Star TV.
Nine Star Energy customers are on a real-time pricing electric rate plan. The main difference with a real-time pricing rate plan is that when you use electricity is just as important as how much electricity you use. The cost to deliver power is changing. Real-time pricing is broken into 2 pricing periods, on-peak and off-peak. You will benefit from lower electricity pricing during most times of the day when energy demand is lower. And electricity prices will be higher from 4 to 8 p.m. when demand for electricity is generally higher. If you can make small changes, like running the dishwasher or doing laundry during lower priced times of the day, you may be able to benefit from your real-time pricing rate plan. To learn more, visit 9starconnect.com.
Halftime here at Pendleton Heights High School. I'd like to take this time to recognize and thank the Corey Cross Foundation for sponsoring and being a part of bringing you tonight's broadcast. The Corey Cross Foundation is a nonprofit dedicated to compassionately providing financial and emotional support to families with children fighting cancer. CCF was created in remembrance of Corey and the support received during his courageous 4.5-year battle. There you can see on your screen. We got information regarding their upcoming Roaring 20s themed fundraising events. It'll include a dinner, dancing, an auction, and more. It will be held at DRW Farms in Charlottesville, Indiana. It's scheduled for March 12th. Pre-purchase ticket sales will be limited to just 200, so don't delay. You can visit the website displayed there on your screen, ccf-roaring20s.eventbrite.com, to purchase your tickets or learn more about sponsorship opportunities. And donations for the auction are also being accepted. For more info about Corey and the foundation, you can go to CoreyCrossFoundation.com. Thanks again to the Corey Cross Foundation for helping you bring tonight's broadcast here on 9 Star TV. Again, at halftime, it's Greenfield Central leading Pendleton Heights 20-14. And we'll be back here on 9 Star TV.
When moving into a new home, we ask ourselves questions like, who is the best internet provider in town? Well, have you considered locally owned 9 Star Connect? We've become the fastest, most reliable, and dedicated fiber-to-the-home internet company in Central Indiana. Our internet packages have been modified, and we are changing speeds at a more competitive price. So give us a look. Visit us at 9starconnect.com. 9 Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Welcome back to Pendleton Heights High School. Rob Connett, Jim Leisure, and the rest of your 9 Star crew. Hey, there we are.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this Friday evening. Halftime score, Greenfield Central leading Pendleton Heights 20-14. And Jim, you look at that second quarter, it was Greenfield Central outscoring Pendleton Heights 10-3. Neither team scored in the first few minutes of that second quarter as things got a little sloppy. Greenfield Central seemed to respond to that, get things going offensively, but Pendleton Heights, and if it wasn't for Jamison Dunham, they'd have just 2 points in this ball game.
Yeah, they got in a situation where they got a couple kids in foul trouble, Ethan Ross and Josiah Gustin, and had to get them to sit on the bench, and it seemed to me as if Coach Ballard was more akin to say, listen, guys, let's don't push things, let's be real patient offensively. If we can go in and keep this close at halftime, then we can come out, we got 3 fouls, on those kids in there. Something tells me, I just got a feeling this is going to be a much more up-tempo half. There's no reason to hold back. If you foul out, you foul out. But you certainly don't want to get 3 fouls. And it seemed like once those 2 kids came out of the ball game, Pendleton Heights almost just kind of pulled out and tapped the brakes a little bit to say, listen, we're close. Let's stay close. Yeah. And then in the second half, we'll see if we can't put our foot on the gas.
There were a lot of those turnovers by both teams in that first half as well. Pendleton Heights with 8 of them. Greenfield Central with 6. And for Greenfield Central, leading the way, Jolie Rowland with 8 points, 4 of them coming from the free throw line. But I think the big story in that first half, Dylan Moles with just 3 points because he spent most of that first half on the bench with 3 fouls.
Yeah, and he's a young man that obviously he does have 3, and unlike the others that we mentioned previously. So he's got to be a little bit careful, but again, I just think that kid's probably been sitting over on that bench just chomping at the bit, and I expect him to come out and really just get after the rim.
Joey Rowland, the dunk off of the turnover by Pendleton Heights. Again, he had 8 in that first half to lead the Cougars. Jamison Dunham with 10 of the 14 for Gustin. The only other scorers for Pendleton Heights, each with 2. Gustin steps on the baseline, and we'll start the second half with another Arabian turnover.
Well, obviously not what you want to do.
That's 9 turnovers in this ball game for Pendleton Heights. Moles is back out there on the floor. Again, 3 points, 3 fouls for number 3 for the Cougars. He'll pull up for 3 off the mark. Good offensive rebound for Rune Carpenter-Jones. Mullins will try a triple. That's short. Braden Knitz will bring it across the timeline. He did not score in that first half. Neither did Luke Candiano for the Arabians. Oh, nice feed underneath. Candiano passes it to Gustin, who is wide open, and he lays it in, and it's a 4-point ball game.
Well, Ethan Ross leads this Pendleton team with assists, but Candiano gets the big assist there.
Carpenter-Jones. He had just 2 points in that first half for the Cougars. He'll get it into the corner. Kirchhoff lets it fly, and it rattles out. Offensive board. Moles will lay it in.
Already making his presence felt.
Back up to a 6-point lead for Greenfield Central. All the way to the hoop. It's Ethan Ross with the lay-in.
Very nicely done there. Again, nice little head fake there. One defender to drop off, and the rest of them were too busy, guarding their man. They weren't in a help position.
Carpenter-Jones too strong on the baseline drive. He tries to get it back. A near steal there, and he does get a steal, and then he's bumped, and a foul going to be called against the Arabians. How about the senior, Rune Carpenter-Jones? Misses it on one end and does everything possible to get it back.
Oh, he's a hustler. There's no doubt about that.
He only averages 5 points per game, but he does a lot of stuff that doesn't show up in the box score.
Yeah, for a guy who doesn't, he's not real tall, he gets a lot of offensive boards.
He'll try a 3. That's way off. Dunham pushing it up the floor. He'll go coast to coast, and then he walked.
Yeah. Good defensive pressure there as he tried to go up for the layup. The ball was basically blocked. You're going to see it here. And then that just disrupts his rhythm right there. Again, Rune Carpenter-Jones, who else?
And then he came back down.
Yeah, and then he came
1,
back down.
2,
Yeah,
and then another hop.
Yeah. Like I said, those are things that won't show up in the box score for Carpenter-Jones, but a good play.
Jumper good for Dylan Moles.
Dylan making up for lost time.
Now has 7. He averages 19 per game, as we'll have a kicked ball call.
I think it's going to stay with Pendleton. Didn't really see much of a lot of times the officials will point one way or the other.
5:10 to play here in the third. Still a 6-point ball game. Low-scoring affair. It was 11-10 after the first quarter. Both teams struggled offensively in that second quarter. It was 20-14 at half. And we've played 3 minutes here in the third as that ball goes out of bounds. 24-18. Whoa. It's like couple guys got tangled up there.
Now you're going to see the turnover here. And just kind of ball's tipped, but it does come off of Knitz's hand.
Moles got it again. And you said it, Jim. Making up for lost time. Yeah. He only had 3 points, 3 fouls in that first half, already with 6 points here in the first 4 minutes of quarter number 3.
Yeah, 3 points, 3 fouls, and 3 buckets in the second half.
Number 23.
Braylon Mullins going to be charged with a foul, as you see it there. Got him on the arm. Luke Candiano to the free throw line. First one, no good.
Looks like he kind of rushed it up there a little bit, Rob.
He's not the greatest free throw shooter, 67%. Which I know you and I have worked lots of ball games together here on 9-Star. You being a former coach, was it 70% or higher is good in your book?
Yeah, you know, again, the guy I played for, Ed Friege, used to say if you can't hit 70%, you can't play. I mean, you just can't be on the floor because they'll find you. Now, of course, he'd love us to shoot in the 80s or 90s, but bare minimum 70.
Kirkhoff, bucket and one. Foul goes against Candiano, his first. As you get a look here, fakes the three, drives in. Free throw made. And it's a 10-point lead, largest of the night for the Cougars, halfway through this third quarter. Three no good, put back no good, but a foul, and that will send Josiah Gustin to the free throw line.
Third offensive rebound for Gustin.
He averages 10 points and 5 rebounds, 2 blocks per game. He had 2 in the first half. Knocks down the first one.
Be interesting to see if he hits this free throw, whether or not Coach Ballard decides to press the ball. Doesn't have to be full court pressure, but maybe half court trap pressure. Try to create some turnovers and get back in this thing.
Second one bounces through. 29-21.
And press they do, kind of more three-quarter court here.
Rolling right into the hands of Gustin. He'll take it the other way and lay it in. Pendleton Heights cuts the deficit to 6.
Staying in it. Gonna press the ball here as they approach the 10-second line. I love how they got Gustin up top, too. He's so long and tall.
Moles, who has 6 points here in the quarter.
Normally the guy you got at the top of that 1-2-2 press is more of a guard type. Gustin's going to get a foul call here. But Josiah is so athletic, even at 6'7", and that great length. I mean, that's just a tremendous player to have at the top of that press, or not press, but trap.
Kick out to Rashawn Street. Now Moles, 3 minutes to go here in the third. In the corner, 3 on the way. Off the mark, no good for Mullins. Rebounded by Dunham. He'll take it across the timeline. Now Candiano. They trail by 6. Gustin over to Dunham. Corner 3. Yes, sir. And Pendleton Heights has cut the deficit to 3 here in the third.
And again, it starts with this pressure here, this trapping pressure. Gustin up top, he's so tall and long that he forces you to make those lob passes, which are susceptible to being picked off.
Street, nice bounce pass underneath the Mullins, and a timeout going to be taken by Greenfield Central. They lead 31-26.
It's going to be a 30. You see Gustin here, kicks the ball out to Dunham. We talked about it earlier. You just can't leave the kid that open. He gets up in the morning and probably comes into the gym early and just shoots those.
You talked about it at the start of the broadcast, the article in the Indy Star about Dunham. Recently just joined the 1,000-point club. And just an incredible kid. Doing everything. He's one of the 3 seniors on this Pendleton Heights team. And leading the way for the remainder of the team, which features 8 sophomores.
Yeah, one of those sophomores, Reese Kablinger, had made a comment in there about how he's kind of taken pride in the fact that he understands that it's probably not going to happen for him his senior year. They play in a difficult sectional with Mount Vernon, Anderson, and New Pal, all with multiple, double-digit wins. But he wants to see that sophomore class win a sectional championship, and he's coaching them every day in practice.
Both these teams will be in sectional 9. Girls sectional starts next week. The boys will start up in about a month from now, end of February, end of January. No, yeah, end of February. I had it right.
It's always kind.
Getting my months mixed up.
Always kind of the first week of March. Traditionally, Indiana high school boys basketball, the first week of the sectional, there's about 8 feet of snow.
Right. Dunham for 3 again. It rattles out. Put back no good by Gustin. Fight for the loose ball. And coming away with it, Knitz draws the foul.
I wasn't sure they were going to call it there. I mean, he almost got his arm ripped off.
Foul called on number 14, Tyler Kirkhoff. His second.
You're going to see it here, the replay. Watch another offensive rebound by Gustin on the tip. Didn't go. Right there. Right there, yeah.
First free throw good for Knitz to put him on the board for the ball game. Saggy one, no good. Out of bounds, belongs to Greenfield Central.
Well, you got to get possessions. You got to steal possessions. That would have been nice to get it for Pendleton. Luckily for Greenfield, if you're a Greenfield fan, it went their way. But, again, here comes that trapping pressure.
It's been working for Pendleton Heights. It got him back within 3.
There's a kick, but good defense nonetheless. And, of course, the best way to beat this stuff is to keep the ball in the middle of the court. When you catch the basketball, know exactly what you're going to do with it. Have a plan. Don't just catch it and dribble it once and get yourself trapped. As now Pendleton drops back, except for Caden Sims, who's actually been doing a nice job on Moles. They brought him in to guard Moles specifically.
Kirkhoff for 3, no. Another rebound for Gustin. 6'7" sophomore has been all over the boards for Pendleton Heights. Under a minute to go here in the third. Gustin jumper, yes. How about Josiah Gustin? 8 points here in the quarter.
And about a half a dozen rebounds, it seemed like.
31-29.
Right. Ooh, I thought that was a pick.
Coach Ballard was thinking it was. 3-pointer no good as Street hesitated on that shot. 30 seconds to go, and Pendleton Heights, who is down by 10, a chance to tie or even take the lead. They'll try the lead. Off the mark, no good. Offensive rebound, put back, yes, for Knitz. We're knotted up at 31 with 15 seconds to go here in the third. Street drives, kick out. Kirkhoff with 5, with 3, with 2. Kirkhoff jumper, no. And we will head to the fourth quarter, tied at 31. Hold on to your hats. We got a good one here in the HHC. We'll be back on 9 Star TV.
At 9 Star Connect, we're a different kind of utility. We're a nonprofit cooperative owned by our members, the friends and neighbors we serve. We work for you. So we're committed to delivering dependable and affordable electricity to over 17,000 homes, schools, and businesses. And we know the best internet service is all about speed and reliability. We deliver both over our high-speed fiber optic network throughout East Central Indiana. At 9 Star Connect, we are a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Welcome back to Pendleton Heights High School. Oh boy, do we got a good one here in the Hoosier Heritage Conference. Tied at 31 as we head to the fourth quarter.
Well, Rob, I think two things in that third quarter. Well, I guess three things. Dylan Moles got off to a great start. Came out, hit 3 big buckets. Coach Ballard said, all right, you know what, we got to get a hand in that kid's face. So he put into the ballgame the sophomore, number 13, Caden Sims, who just guarded him like a hawk, did not score the rest of the quarter. Josiah Gustin was big defensively and offensively, and that pressure, that trapping pressure by Pendleton created turnovers, gave them extra possessions, and that's how they tied this game up. As you look at Sims right there at the 10-second line, just all over Moles.
And we'll have a foul on the floor to start the fourth quarter.
And that foul will go against Sims, but you know what? It doesn't matter. I mean, obviously, it's only the third, I think, fourth foul of the half, so not in the bonus yet, but that's just good defense.
And a steal and a timeout going to be awarded to Coach Ballard. Pendleton Heights outscored Greenfield Central 17-11 in that third quarter, which is pretty significant considering the Arabians had just 3 points altogether in that second quarter.
Well, obviously in a tie ball game, fourth quarter, possessions are just, like gold, and Coach Ballard did not want to see that possession go away. His player was on the floor, had the basketball. He went on ahead and quickly called timeout, as it were, had he let it play out. I think it was Gustin that was on the floor, but he was able to get it to a teammate. But better safe than sorry. Both teams, I guess Pendleton only has 3 timeouts left. Greenfield with 4. So take the timeout. Don't risk the turnover.
Sims has it stolen away. Ball loose, picked up by GC, and then a timeout going to be awarded to Coach Meredith.
Same exact scenario.
Exact same play, just reversed on the teams. Force a turnover, call a timeout. And the Cougars get it right back.
And hats off to Rashawn Street, who put pressure on the basketball, was able to knock it away. So I believe that's the 32nd. Both teams are still up. So
Pendleton Heights trailed by as much as 10 in that third quarter. Came back to tie it to start this fourth quarter. And again, we talked about at the start of the broadcast how big of a win this would be, Jim, for Pendleton Heights. Not only would it just be their 4th win of the year, but you would also improve to 2-3 in the conference and knock GC down to 2-3. As you take a look at what we got coming up next week, Jim, you're going to be joined by Kurt Darling as Mount Vernon. We saw them last week. Great Marauder team. 11-2. They will be taking on the Noblesville Millers. That's coming up next week here on 9-Star TV. That'll be a good one. We got a good one here as well. Early fourth, tied at 31, low scoring, but entertaining ball game here in Pendleton.
Ethan Ross back in the ball game. He's checking Moles now.
Moles flips it over to Roland, to Street, and he gets it off the glass and good.
Good job of fighting through the contact there. Probably could have been and perhaps should have been a foul. Again, Street applying that pressure.
33-31. Left alone, jumper good for Gustin. How about Josiah Gustin, Jim? 2 points in the first half, 12 here in the second half.
And that's the third time that he's caught the ball just inside the free throw line and turned around and hit that little 12-footer. That's a shot that kids today just don't take a lot. Everyone's behind the arc in practice and in pregame.
Moles answers back
with the 12-footer of his own. Again, a lot of kids don't take that shot much anymore, and it's actually harder than it looks.
35-33. 6:15 to go here in regulation. Dunham gets it out of the corner. Candiano over to Ross. A cross-court pass back to Candiano. Great defense here by the Cougars. not letting the Arabians inside at all. And a kicked ball going to be called.
Braylon Mullins, the freshman for Greenfield Central, he's a kid that's similar to Gustin in that he's got really long arms. And he just tends to get his hands in the passing lane. And even if he doesn't tip it, he forces you to throw it deeper than you want to throw it. And therefore, you're out of position offensively.
Souders.
Another
5:25 to go.
Yeah.
Haven't called his name a lot, but he's getting some playing time here in the fourth. Gets it back. Gets a bump. Inside, and tough shot. Josiah Gustin is taking over here in the second half. We are tied again. Gustin now leading the Arabians in scoring with 14. That was in the win against just a couple.
Kirchhoff set to rejoin the action. Next dead ball. There's a dead ball.
Wow. Send that to the concession stand. Mullins will have a seat. As you said, Kirchhoff checks back in. So you got Kirchhoff, Street, Moles, Roland out there on the floor for Greenfield Central. And Candiano is fouled.
For the Arabians, foul call on number 4, Rashawn Street, his first.
Rashawn Street maybe got him on the hand.
Yeah, I mean, he reached over a little bit. Didn't see a tremendous amount of contact, but that has been consistent all night long.
First free throw good. And how about that? Pendleton Heights back in front, 36-35. Second free throw, got him. Arabians lead by 2. 4:45 to go here in this conference matchup. Moles, jumper, connects.
Decent job that time by Greenfield Central breaking down that press. And I call it a press. It's more of a trap.
Oh, nice pass underneath. A little too strong was Dunham, though. Greenfield Central with a chance to retake the lead. Up ahead, Roland fouled.
We're going to call it on Candiano. A little bit of a body there. Good job, though, of getting the ball, and you're going to see it just pressing the ball up the floor, getting into the middle of the floor where you want it. Yeah, good call.
First one no good for Roland. He was 4 for 5 at the line in the first half. Gets the second. GC back in front, 38-37 with just over 4 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter.
Pendleton really spreading the floor here. Great spacing. Got to look inside for Gustin. Find him on the block.
Dunham, long three, short. Offensive rebound for Candiano.
Second chance points, man. Big deal. That's why when the ball goes up, somebody has to yell ball. Tell all the defenders, find your guy, get your rear end on him.
Wide, oh, it rimmed out, no good for Knitz. Street charge.
Well, they're going to call the player control foul because he dips the shoulder. You're going to see it probably on the replay here.
As you can hear, the Cougar fans not happy with the call.
Watch the shoulder dip just right there.
Yep.
You know, there was a time years ago when they would not have given you that call. They would have said, the defender wasn't set. But then obviously offensive players were taking advantage of that and getting more shoulder in it.
Dunham, wild shot, good. Pendleton Heights back in front. Back and forth we go here in the fourth. Dunham with 15.
Just a second bucket of the second half, though. If he gets going, Pendleton wins this game. If they can get Pendleton can get him untracked and he gets 2 or 3 good shots, he could be the difference.
Dunham with 10 in that first half, just 5 here in the second half. It's really been the Josiah Gustin show. That jumper good for Moles. How about Dylan Moles leading the way for the Cougars, now with 15.
Yeah, makes you wonder if he hadn't spent basically the whole second quarter on the bench, how many he'd have. But that's part of the game. I mean, you got to learn to play with fouls.
A timeout taken, 40-39. Greenfield Central led as much as 10 in the third quarter. Pendleton Heights came back, tied it to end the third, and we've been back and forth this entire fourth quarter. What a ball game we have had.
And we just got a really good shot there. Coach Adam Ballard and his staff, Troy Woodruff, Dylan Wells, Ryan McAtee, and Michael Joyce just talking. You know, it's a full, so the kids are sitting on the bench. The coaches are conferring. They're coming up with what, you know, again, he's probably got an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. So he's asking the offensive guy, what do we like here? What are we seeing that the Greenfield's doing that we feel like we can take advantage of? And then after we hit this shot, he looks at the defensive guy and says, and now what do we do? Now, if I'm the defensive guy, I say, well, why don't we stay in that kind of trapping pressure, maybe extend it, because it's not even really three-quarter court. It's more like about, you know, just over the 10-second line. So maybe they think, why don't we go full court, what we call hard line, really get in there and press them the whole 94 feet and see if we can't force things to happen.
2:44 to go here in the fourth. And we'll see what Pendleton Heights does on this possession coming out of the timeout.
Well, you always got Dunham for a three if you can. Although, yeah, and then you got Gustin on the block.
Back and forth we have gone here in the fourth quarter. 2.5 to play, 1-point ball game. They feed it inside, tough shot, and getting fouled is Braden Knitz. He will go to the line to shoot 2.
That'll work too.
Foul call number 23, Adam Lester. His third. Correction, his first.
Adam Lester picked up his first personal foul. First free throw for Knitz, ties it again. And the second one gives them the lead, 41-40. Pendleton Heights, 3-11 on the season. Greenfield Central at 6-6. What a big win this would be for the Arabians. Again, we talked about what it would do to the Hoosier Heritage Conference standings. Off the mark, Moles. Rebounded by Pendleton Heights. 2 minutes to go.
What Knitz has really inserted himself in this game, too.
Dunham.
Nice job on the boards. Nice job offensively. How good could this Pendleton team be in 2 years when these 7 sophomores are seniors? This is great game experience. Minute and 40 seconds to play. Pendleton's got the lead. They're no one hurry. They'll stand there and dribble it away if Greenfield will let them. They won't.
Coach Ballard was instructing Sims and Candiano to back it out, and they throw it away. Up ahead, and it's knocked away. Great defense there by Caden Sims.
Well, if you're going to make a bad pass on one end, you better hustle your butt back and play good defense on the other end. And that's a good job there. Sims kind of lazy pass. But watch him get back here to just get his hand in the passing lane right there.
1:23 to go. Cougars trail by 1.
Of course, Pendleton's at home. Otherwise, I'd say, you know, that's the difference between riding the bus home or walking home. Hustling back and getting your hand in the way.
Kirkhoff dribbles out. 1:05 to go. 1-point ball game.
Ethan Ross is guarding Moles like a hawk.
And a timeout going to be taken by Coach Meredith.
Really like what Coach Meredith has done with this team. I've talked about it in other Greenfield Central broadcasts. I've been around Hancock County all my life. Grew up here, played in Hancock County, coached in Hancock County. And there were years when Greenfield was just awful. I mean, just terrible. Didn't compete, 1, 2, 3 win seasons. Coach Meredith in a very short time has got these kids competing.
6-6 coming into tonight. 2-2 in the conference. And again, looking at the Hoosier Heritage Conference, Mount Vernon still atop at 4-0. Newcastle and New Pal both 3-1. Greenfield right in the middle with Yorktown at 2-2. Pendleton Heights right behind Delta. But again, if Pendleton Heights can pull out this victory, it shakes up the HHC. Pendleton would move up to 2-3. Greenfield would drop to 2-3. The only other conference game going on tonight, Yorktown is hosting New Pal. And so we haven't gotten an update on score there, but if Yorktown could, knock off New Pal, the standings look completely different after tonight. So a lot at stake here.
One of the things I saw, again, Coach Meredith is still talking with one of the other officials. But throughout most of that time out, he was jawing with one of the officials. One of his assistants came over and got him and said, Coach, give it up, man. We need to play.
Moles over to Kirkhoff. 45 seconds to go, 41-40. GC trails. Moles off the glass. Offensive foul going to be called.
Well, his fourth, and that time, Coach, out of the timeout, Coach Ballard had Guston guarding Moles. You're going to see it here. Oh, I don't know. Candiani kind of leaned into him, but whatever. It is what it is.
Now you got to play defense.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it.
38 seconds to go. Dunham brings it up. Candiano. And he will be fouled. Actually, no, a timeout going to be taken by Coach Ballard. Pendleton Heights 41, Greenfield Central 40, 32.6 seconds to go.
Checking into the ball game for Greenfield Central's number 30, Rune Carpenter-Jones, the senior who's everywhere. I would imagine he's probably going to check the ball whoever has the ball, whether it's Dunham or Sims or whomever. He's going to be there right in their face, pestering and annoying them. I don't have Carpenter-Jones with any fouls, so he can afford really to be a little aggressive, although that would put, I guess Pendleton's already in the bonus. Would put him on the line.
Pendleton to inbound. Oh, wide open layup, good. Josiah Guston. Arabians up by 3, 25 seconds to go.
Great play by Coach Ballard, obviously drawn up on the sidelines.
Moles to Street, down to 15 seconds. 3 on the way. Mullins got it. We're tied at 43. Clock still rolling, and now a timeout going to be taken. Mullins with the shot of his life. My goodness.
Really good job, off balance, but you know what? He had his shoulders square. That's a shooter. That's a kid who obviously spends a lot of time in the gym, catches the ball, again, falling one way a little bit, off balance. You're going to see it on the replay here. Rashawn gets it to him, takes one dribble, floating away.
Wow.
Got just a little bit of the rim, not much.
43-43, 9 seconds to go. Pendleton Heights will get the ball coming out of the timeout. Again, the Arabians 3-11 on the season. Greenfield Central at 6-6.
Expect Greenfield to pressure the basketball. I think I would. Again, I would try to create a turnover out of this thing, try to win it in regulation. You're on the road. Now Pendleton, last time out of a timeout, obviously designed to play. Coach Ballard designed a play that resulted in practically a dunk. I was a little surprised that Guston didn't, kind of flush it home. Right. He could have if he wanted to.
Coach Ballard Drawing up the play as you see there on your screen. The Arabians.
Officials communicating with each other, and the one official indicated, and I'm sure he'll indicate to Dunham, he can run the baseline. And he just told him you got the baseline here, so he can run side to side.
Full court press for the Cougars. Dunham to inbound. Looking for a man to inbound. They get it into Ross. Down to 5 seconds. Ross. And a timeout going to be taken by Coach Ballard with 3.7 seconds. That's their final timeout.
Really good job, though. Again, Ross seemed to be in a little bit of trouble, but more importantly, they're going to inbound the basketball on the other side of the court, but in much the same spot that they inbounded it before that resulted in the layup. Now, we'll see what Coach does. Obviously, Coach Meredith and his staff saw that play. They're drawing it up right now. Guys, you can't let this happen. We need somebody here, somebody there. And then offensively, I got Pendleton. It's almost like in football when you got a 2-point conversion play late in the game and you convert it. Well, you can't really run that again. If you're getting overtime and you need another 2, you got to have more than one play here. And that's, I'm sure, what Coach Ballard's drawing up right now. Plenty of time. 3.7 seconds. And, again, you got the ball past the 10-second line. It's going to be about 24 feet from the bucket.
You got some options. Dunham, he's got 15 points. Gustin with 14 points. 12 of them have come here in the second half. He has been really the main reason why the Arabians are in this position.
Yeah, and, they're going to guard Gus, and they're going to guard Dunham. A lot of times in this situation, it's a kid like Ross or it's a kid like Cannons, the kid that you don't really expect. You can't leave guys like Dunham single defended. You got to kind of give him some help. It's going to leave somebody open. This one, somebody else has to step up.
Here we go. Tied ball game. 3.7 seconds. Ross will inbound for Pendleton Heights. They get it to Dunham for the 3 and the win. No, we're going overtime.
Well, they got the shot they wanted. Obviously, Jamison Dunham 3 didn't go.
Well, we told you to buckle up. You might want to grab another bag of popcorn. Overtime here in Pendleton as Dunham's 3 just off the mark. 43-43, overtime coming up on 9 Star TV.
My name is Patty Potty, and I'd like to talk to you about all those kinds of convenience products. People are flushing down the toilet, clogging up our sewer system, and causing expensive repair bills. They might flush down, but they sure don't flush out. Make sure you trash them. Don't flush them, only flush the 3 P's. Pee, poo, and paper. Toilet paper, that is. And remember, no wipes in those pipes.
This important message was brought to you by 9 Star Connect, your water and sewer provider.
Welcome back to Pendleton. Rob Conant, Jim Leisure, the rest of the 9 Star crew. Wow. Is your heart pounding?
Nah, I'm too old for this.
I'm sure you've coached many situations
like
what? This.
And there were lots of games where there's no time to get nervous. You hit a big bucket, you get that big stop defensively, and that's great. But now we got to go to the other end. You just don't have time to celebrate. I really don't get. Coaching ruined me as a fan. It really did. I used to get real excited about plays, and now it's like, great. Now we got to defend.
You're dissecting
everything.
Exactly.
I don't have time to celebrate. We'll celebrate when it's over.
43-43. Overtime here in Pendleton. And the Cougars will get the first possession.
Joey Rowland gets up there and gets that tip for Greenfield. How about that?
Dylan Moles over to Kirkhoff for 3.
Good start for the Cougars. Can't, get much better than that. You get a big 3 just seconds into the OT period.
How will the Arabians respond? Candiano over to Ross. Candiano gets over to Dunham. He'll try to answer, and he does. We're tied again.
What a basketball game. This has been fun. I tell you, We talked before, Rob, off the air, but we both said, yeah, this could be a really, really good basketball game. If it gets out of hand, maybe Greenfield, they got a little more experience. But we both thought this could be a very good ball game, and it certainly turned out to be that way.
This is the second overtime for Pendleton Heights this year. You mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. Their only other overtime game was a upset win against Guerin Catholic last month.
And I thought that they had a conditioning advantage against Guerin. It looked to me like Guerin's kids just went out of gas. Pendleton's kids kept playing. I don't know if that'll happen to Greenfield.
Moles, tough shot, no. Dunham gets the ball. 2:20 to go here in overtime. Gustin got it. Pendleton Heights in front.
I love it. You know, the kid's 6'7", he's on the block, and Greenfield has nobody that tall, so just kind of throw it up to him.
Under 2 minutes to go. 48-46, Arabians looking to move to 4-11 on the year. Cleanup and a foul going to be called. It will send Rune Carpenter-Jones to the line.
Rune is 6 of 9 on the season, 67%. Has 2 shots here as in the act.
The senior knocks down the first one. Rune Carpenter-Jones averages 5 points per game. His season high is 10. Misses the second one. 48-47. Foul going to go against Rashawn Street.
Coach Meredith obviously did not like the call. I'll tell you, he wisely, though, when the official kind of looked at him like, Coach, that's enough. And he backed off a little bit.
Jamison Dunham to the free throw line. Shooting the one in bonus. Earns a second one.
Kirchhoff checks back in the game for Street. Coach Bauer's going to take his Arabians off the free throw line. Go back and defend.
Dunham got them both. 50-47. Arabians in front with 1.5 minutes to go. In the corner, 3. Kirchhoff ties it at 50. What a ball game here in Pendleton.
Pretty decent crowd tonight, Rob, and again, everybody got their money's worth. It was middle school basketball night, so a lot of the youngsters, you see them up around the gate, around as the stadium is set up. Kirchhoff with his third 3 of the night.
A 1:20 to go. Kirchhoff with 2 threes here in the overtime period. Tied at 50.
Couple people with 4 fouls in the ball game, and again, as we move into potentially another overtime, that could play into it. Dylan Moles for Greenfield with 4. Ethan Ross for Pendleton with 4. I think the all-time record in Indiana high school basketball for overtimes, I believe, is like 7. It was Converse, little town up by Marion, Indiana, and like Swayze, I think. And you know what? Now that I say 7, it might have been 11. I can't remember. Yeah, it was an insane number.
We'll see if 5 periods is enough to decide this one. Tied at 50. A minute 12 to go here in overtime number 1. Candiano gives it off to Gustin. He'll lay it in.
Greenfield really just does not have an answer for him inside.
A minute to go here in overtime. 52-50. Pendleton Heights looking to pull the upset. Moles picks up his dribble into the corner. Mullins now to Street. They swing it around. 40 seconds to go. Cougars down by 2.
It's the guy you want with the ball in his hand.
Down to 30 seconds. Moles to Carpenter Jones, and a timeout going to be taken by Coach Meredith. With 25 seconds remaining.
Well, now it's Coach Meredith's turn to design something, but again, you see one of the other assistant coaches kind of taking the lead here. That's probably, again, as I always refer to it, as the offensive coordinator. And now Coach Meredith will step in. First he wanted to make sure where they were getting the ball out of bounds, whether it was going to be on the side or on the baseline. It's amazing how many times, even at this level, but at every level, the NBA and college, call them out of a timeout, and it almost always results in a really good shot. Not always a bucket,
right?
But a really good shot. So Coach Meredith's turn to earn his check. And I think when you break down a high school coach's hourly rate, all the hours they spend watching film, and I think they're up to like $2.25 an hour now. So a bit of a raise.
We mentioned how this is the second overtime game this year for Pendleton Heights, and they beat Guerin Catholic 65-60 in OT back in December. Greenfield Central, this is their 3rd overtime game. They knocked off Yorktown 72-65 in OT back in December. They lost to Mount Vernon by 1 earlier this month in overtime. 25 seconds. Cougars down by 2. Moles jumper. No. Rebounded by the Arabians, and they'll have to foul. They will foul Dunham.
Well, nothing's, 16 seconds left. Dunham's still got to hit these free throws, and then you got to defend. Nothing is given here. Still single bonus. And Dunham is an 81% free throw shooter. I get it, but he's still got to hit them.
Got it and earns a second. Adam Lester, the senior, will check in for Greenfield Central. Rune Carpenter-Jones will have a seat. Second free throw for Jamison Dunham. Got him. 54-50. 16 seconds to go. Timeout, Pendleton Heights. They're done, as is Greenfield Central. No timeouts left here in overtime.
So it should be a frantic last 16 seconds here with nobody with the ability to stop the clock. See Coach Meredith there. Again, on the court, you just saw the 4 assistants for Pendleton conversing. Obviously, they have to defend. If they can get a stop of some sort, even just a missed shot and a rebound, they're in a very good spot. But if Greenfield does hit, what are we going to do if they hit a 2, if they hit a 3? They're going to foul immediately. So who do we want in the ball game?
If you're Coach Meredith, you don't need a 3 here.
No.
Just some sort of shot obviously needs to go in. You're down 4 with 16 seconds to go.
And you got some good options. Obviously, Dylan Moles, and you got the youngster in Mullins who hit the 3. You've got Kirchhoff, who's hit a couple 3s. Not much of an inside game, as Pendleton Heights has Josiah Gustin there. Coach Bauer's going to back Josiah up a little bit. They're going to pressure the ball a little bit, just use some clock.
Cougars down by 4. Down to 10 seconds. Moles launches a 3. No good. Rebounded by Candiano. He'll give it to Dunham. Greenfield Central will not foul, and Pendleton Heights is going to pull away with the overtime win, 54-50.
How about that?
What a ball game.
Would not have bet a quarter on it. I mean, we expected a good one, and I'm happy for Coach Ballard and his kids. Coach Meredith and his squad's going to have to go back, look at the film, find areas where they need to improve. This is clearly, in my opinion, an upset. You don't have to be very smart. You got a 3-11 basketball team playing a team that, again, very easily could have been 8-4. Coach Meredith obviously not happy. Standing in the middle of the court, very professional, very sportsmanlike. Congratulating all the Pendleton kids, but you can tell by the look on his face that practice, the next time. And I don't know, does Greenfield play tomorrow?
They do.
Okay.
Both teams actually play tomorrow.
So no time really to practice, so we're going to have films in the morning and a walkthrough. But Coach Meredith's got that look on his face like we got to get better.
Final stats here tonight for Pendleton Heights in the win. Jamison Dunham, 22 points, including 6 for 6 at the free throw line. And how about Josiah Gustin? He had just 2 points at halftime. He finishes the game with 20.
Well, he found himself down on that block a lot, and they were able to get him the ball. And then after that, it was over. I mean, Greenfield did a nice job of defending that, trying not to let him get the ball there. But once he got it there, it's over. They got nobody nearly tall enough to stop him. So your choices are to just watch him hit a layup or foul him. And so, he got a lot of easy buckets.
Lead the way for Greenfield Central tonight. Dylan Moles, 15 points on 6 of 10 shooting. Tyler Kirchhoff had 14 points. 9 of them came from beyond the arc, including 2 threes here in overtime to make things interesting. But again, Pendleton Heights down the final stretch. Greenfield Central missed a couple of shots. They were forced to foul, and Jamison Dunham hit his free throws. And Pendleton Heights comes away with the upset win, 54-50 in overtime. The Arabians improved to 4-11 on the season, 2-3 now in the conference. Greenfield Central drops to 6-7. They too are now 2-3 in the HHC.
Pendleton is getting better. The fans, the players, the parents, they all need to be a little bit patient. I think Adam Ballard is a fantastic basketball coach. He's sifted through some adversity. Again, no juniors. There's a story there. I don't know what it is.
Right.
Okay, but again, 3 years ago, there was probably 20 eighth graders playing basketball, and now there's 0.
Yeah.
All right, there's something there. I don't know what it is, and honestly, I don't care what it is. Coach Ballard, if you listen to him, the man knows how to coach. When you get everybody to work together, it's amazing what can be accomplished when no one cares who gets the credit. And that's where they got to work to.
Again, 3 seniors, 8 sophomores on this Pendleton Heights team. And it was 1 senior and 1 sophomore leading the way tonight for the Arabians.
That senior does his job. Okay, right. Dunham's going to go out and get his 18. But, again, based on the article and what I've seen tonight, he's getting those sophomores better every day. And you see him there coming up with the loose ball. And, well, that's Candiano, I guess. But here's a big 3. See, he's going to do that. Again, there's a lot of kids in this state that can get 18 a night, but not all of them want to lead, and not all of them can lead. And it sounds to me like he's a good leader. And, again, things don't bode well for them in the sectional. They play in a very difficult sectional, but I wouldn't count them out. I mean, they could be the Greenfield last year. Nobody expected much out of Greenfield. They came out in the opening round of the sectional, upset a very good New Palestine team. Don't sleep on Pendleton Heights in this sectional either.
Again, the Arabians now 4-11 on the year. They will be at Hamilton Southeastern tomorrow night. As for Greenfield Central, now 6-7. They are playing at the Muncie Central Tournament and will play South Bend Adams tomorrow at noon. So they got a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Don't have any time
to
really look at this one. A quick turnaround.
Coach is going to have to break down about 6 plays, 8 plays maybe. Show them when they get on the bus, when they show up to school to get on the bus. Guys, let's look at these 6 plays. Now let's go play basketball.
You saw Coach Ballard there talking to the Pendleton Heights student radio station right next to us. For us, again, our next broadcast will be coming up next week. Mount Vernon and Noblesville should be a good one. You'll be joining Kurt Darling. That will be fun next week. But here tonight in Pendleton, a big conference win for the Arabians, 54-50 in overtime. Again, the Arabians now 4-11. 2-3 in the conference. Greenfield Central falls to 6-7 on the year, also now 2-3 in the HHC. Jim, always a pleasure working with you, my man.
Absolutely, and again, great game to call. Nobody likes those running clock games. Everyone thinks everyone likes them because you get home early. No, nobody wants to watch that. Right? Nobody wants to watch 72-14. We want to see overtime games, and we got one tonight.
A good one here tonight on 9 Star TV. For Jim Leisure and everyone else involved with 9 Star TV, I'm Rob Conant. Thanks for joining us. A great one here in Pendleton. The Arabians with the upset win in overtime, 54-50, your final score. Thanks for joining us here on 9 Star TV. Good night.